Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am Yumble, and today I want to teach you how to connect two highways together using what's called a trumpet interchange. So what I'm going to try to do today is make a compact trumpet interchange. They can take up as much space as they need to. There's some other examples of this on this map. I didn't build any of these, so some of them are kind of asymmetrical and a bit wonky in a way that I wouldn't condone necessarily. But I'm going to put my spin on that over here and try to make a clean, concise, low land area trumpet interchange and teach you how to connect highways in your city so that traffic can keep moving smoothly. The first thing I really like to do when building a new interchange is determine what the through road capacity is going to be. And when I say that, I mean we're going to use lane math on this one, where we're going from 3 lanes down to 2 lanes, because some of these are going to be transferring off onto the interchange. So we want a lane to disappear in some capacity. So this gives us our size that we're working with. And in the interest of keeping this compact, I want to be real space efficient. So by downgrading these roads, we can really see how much space we have to work with. And to that point, I want to see how wide this is going to be once all of our roads are determined. So for the whole area that we've just reduced down to 2 lanes, I want to make our ramps. I want to give us a width just to guide us in this, just as a guide. 2 units, 16 meters. Yep, 2 units, 16 meters is looking good. We can go perpendicular off of our road guideline. And there we have it. So that's the width that we're going to be working with. And really, this could even be shrunken down a little bit further if this split off into 2. I'm not going to do that. That's a lot of extra stuff. We are going to do a trick with this where these roads split, so stay tuned for that. But keep in mind, this could be even smaller if these roads merged not merged, but if they became closer in the middle and used this space in the middle. But for our purposes, we're just going to use this for pillars. You know, there'll be a pillar for this overpass that's about to happen. So essentially, now we know that we're going to be starting the interchange about here and ending the interchange about here. So that just gives us our width to begin. Some people build these. I usually build these by making an overpass just straight over. Like, okay, here we go. It's just going to go straight over the top, and there it goes. But what I want to do for this is actually do the thing I was talking about here. I want to use the space in between these highways for some good. So what I'm going to do initially is I'm going to get our measurements squared away. When I say measurements, I mean I want to know exactly where these roads are going to split and how that's going to look. So what I want to do is have this road split 1 unit to the left and 1 unit to the right. So that means if I build, just like I did here to get a guide, if you look at 5 units away here, 5 units is arbitrary, but just to get our guideline right, and make 1 unit, so we're squared off by 5 units, and make 1 unit in either direction, and then delete that initial road. Now if we build 2 units in the other direction with node snapping turned off, now we've got this nifty little guide. I can do the same thing over here. Turn node snapping on to get that connection, turn it off to get this one. So now I know exactly, this will make more sense when you see the whole thing, but I know exactly where this road is splitting to. I know the destinations. And with these destinations, now I can get a guideline on where our highway is going to start, on where our ramp is going to start, rather. So let's get a connection with node snapping turned on. Let's go all the way here, and we'll make a thing there, and we'll make a thing here. Nah, I take it back. That's enough. So that gives us a starting point. That gives us a guideline to begin the whole process. And what I'd like to do, now that we've made this guideline of what is going to be our overpass, I'm going to go up to 12 units high, 12 meters high rather, or 3 units if you're on vanilla. And the lowest amount that I recommend doing for a bridge is 12 units long. You can measure that by going up to the 10 line here and then 2 more. Or if you have precision engineering, you can see that it's 12 units. Precision engineering is a mod for Skylines. But I know that that's where our ramp is going to be. because we measured it out. We measured everything out about it. And I know how far apart are these? 2 units, perfect. So this actually gets us right where we want to be. 2 units away. I'm going to match that ramp with the ramp going in the opposite direction. And that gives us a really solid starting point. So now we know where the ramp begins and probably about where our curves are going to start. And all this will make sense as you see it happening, I think. So these are just guides, so we know where the highway will connect. It doesn't have to look exactly like this, but I'm just trying to keep all my nodes equally spaced and parallel where they should be parallel, and perpendicular where they should be perpendicular. So let's actually make the overpass right now. Because we measured this so well, we know where the overpass can start and where it can stop. And I've actually got a bit of a clever trick for this part too. Before starting the curve, I'm not going to use any mods. I'm not going to use, there's a thing called parallel road tools and other options for building multiple roads at once. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this by hand, but I need this to stop right here. I need these roads to stop right where this highway ramp is. So I'm actually going to do a clever thing. We're just going to use anarchy and connect it there to make a node so we can delete just that little bit on the end. And now we've got exactly what we need. There's a bit of a pesky pillar there. We don't really need that. That's an artifact of what we just did using anarchy, so we're going to use move it to bulldoze that. But I want to do a 5x5, very compact, possibly inadvisably compact curve. Typically, I recommend using 7x7 curves for anything, for any sort of highway ramp. But for this one, I've decided on 5x5 for the inner curve because I'm kind of a maniac, and I just want to go crazy. And we're just going to do a 5x5 curve because it's going to be small. That's kind of my goal for the day. 12, 9. I'm going to reslope these later probably, but we're just going to go 5x5 from 12 down to 9, from 9 down to 6 on the next 5x5 curve. Like I said, we're going to redo this later, but that's okay. And for this last one, the 5x5 isn't going to snap nicely. It's going to snap to whatever the heck it wants to. So I'm going to use the same trick we just did and force a node at the destination. This is a circle. This is going to be 3/4 of a circle. So I know it's going to end there. And now we can use our freeform road tool to get back to ground. And we'll reslope this properly later. I did some weird math just now to get to that result. But that's really good. That's the first inner ramp that we're doing. So that'll be for the traffic coming around and coming onto this part of the highway. The outer ramp is even easier. Since we've done the legwork here, you can go to freeform road tool. We'll use our 2-lane one-way road, and we're going to go around the outside, round the outside, round the outside. So using our road guidelines, I'm not even going to worry about the height for this one, I don't think. I'm just going to freeform it entirely. And we're going to use freeform road tool. Now we've got our beautiful 40 meter by 40 meter curve. Get rid of that guideline there. Ignore the heights, ignore the last step is a bit of a doozy right now, but we're going to fix that using either Move It or Electric's road tools. And we don't need that inner piece because there's no reason for those to connect, because this is just a way to get onto the ramp, and this is just a way to get out of the interchange. That's really good so far. I kind of want to replicate what we did here with the 5x5s, but down here on this ramp, which is going to serve the same purpose but in the opposite direction. So we're just going to take this road that already exists because we kept our measurements good. And we're just going to do that, connect there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I want to do a 5x5 curve. So we're just going to measure it to get our destination. And then we're going to delete the extra roads and connect it using freeform road tool. And that's 5x5, 40 units. Get rid of the guidelines. That's nice. Do the same thing over here. So it should be straight road tool, 5 units by 5 units. Delete the extra roads. That middle one's no longer necessary. Curve this one. And just to reiterate what I said earlier, I know these are very small curves, but my goal today is to build a small interchange. It's going to be highly functional, but also the cars may have to slow down a little to utilize it, which is fine. I'm not really, I'm not too worried about it. For this situation, these roads still have to connect back to the highway here. So I want to see where 5 units is, since the theme of the day is 5, and 5 units actually looks really great. So that's good. Yeah, that's the center. So the highway, we're just going to nudge this up a little bit. That's all that little guide road is for, is to nudge the highway up a little further so that we can be 5 units away from this. And this is like the easiest part of the whole thing. Take your highway ramp. It may get upgraded into 2-lane road in the future. No promises there. We'll see how the math works out on this mean machine here. We're just going to use the ramp because it's small right now. Go back to freeform road tool. Go perpendicular off each of these roads and connect them where they belong. So freeform road tool, 90 degrees off. Doesn't matter how far. With freeform road tool, you can do it 1,000,000 miles away and still connect it where it goes, which is different from curved road tool. See my previous video about building clean roads and skylines for more information on that. But freeform road tool is a godsend when it comes to connecting highways. You can get really clean results doing it this way. Let's turn all these. Let's convert these into highway just for looks, because right now it looks pretty bad. So we're going to turn this into highways facing the right direction and just see how it looks. The best way to do this, my favorite way to do this, is to have it end in the same spot on both sides. I think it comes out a lot cleaner looking and just better in general. So we are going to go back to the beginning of each of these. 3 units is 24 meters. So let's do a 24 by 24 curve. I think that would look the nicest. Using our highway ramp, 3 by 3, 24 meter curve. Beautiful. And I want that to be the same on the other side, so we're going to, once again, force a node at 90 degrees. That gives us our node there. Same thing over here, because this side is actually our furthest point. I want to see where 24 meters lives, using freeform road tool. 24 by 24, rather. 24 meters. Cool. And we want to go perpendicular off of that one, too. So not to the node there. That node is a lie. We're actually going to move that node over by building this. So now what we've got is some really clean little connections. These roads aren't real. They're just scaffolding. Don't worry about them. And now we can use the guideline off of this one to see where this road ends. Bingo. That's the same as that. Freeform road tool to the node we just created. Delete the little extra one. Turn these the right way. Oops. Turn these the right way. That's your exit. Same thing on the other side here. I want this to connect at that nice little spot that we made. So let's go all the way over so it lines up with this road where the curve begins. That should be 90 degrees there. It is. I love good measurements. I love really great clean measurements because I think that's how you get the cleanest result in Skylines, is if you're accurate with what you do. Accurate and intentional. And you'll end up with something looking like this. The lane math is all messed up. I'm going to have to see what happens. It's going to change, of course, to a degree. This is what it would look like if we snug these roads up to the edge of it. But what we have so far is the... look at that. Traffic's already using it. They're already on it. The math is all messed up, though, because this is 3 lanes here going down to 2 lanes, which doesn't really make any sense. So let's see, for the sake of seeing, if we can clean up the lane math. Okay, executive decisions have been made on the lane mathematics. So I've gone with kind of an asymmetrical situation here, which I'm okay with. We'll dress it up nice in a little bit so it looks a little more normal. I upped this ramp to 65 miles per hour so that it can function as a main highway. But you'll notice most of the traffic is trying to use this exit here anyway. So I figured hierarchically, this should be the 2-lane road. Most people are trying to make this left off of this road anyway. And any traffic coming from this way is trying to go straight through, so we'll let them have 2 lanes as well. So that's basically it. I don't think that the straight through is always what deserves priority. In this situation, the 2 lanes, just to handle that much volume, should be given to this curve, right? I think that's a good way to do it. Now we're going to fix all of this mess here. I'm going to detail it up a little bit. First, actually, here, let's fix the curves. Here is my favorite way to fix the curves. Guys, if you're not hip to Electric's road tool, I would absolutely recommend getting it. It's this guy right here with the hair, little icon. and Electric's road tools, not to be confused with electric roads. But there's this nifty little bit in here. There's all sorts of stuff it can do that I'm not going to cover. But right now, this right here is to smooth the slope of networks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the slope of these guys. It's great because you can just click all the nodes involved. And you can see how bad this is right now. This is all 12 units high, and then it dips right down to, to ground level. So we've selected all the offending nodes, or all the involved nodes, and you just hit enter, and it flattens it right out, which is wonderful. And then you do Shift-C to deselect those nodes, and then click the nodes on the other side, because we're going to do the same thing so that these are equal. Hit enter, and look at that. That one should literally not change. Cool. So now we've done quite good. I think it's a very clean-looking result as far as going up in grade from here up to 12 meters over a 5x5 curve that goes all the way around. This one doesn't need to be resloped, really, so that's fine. I'm just going to do some finishing touches. For functionality, actually, I really recommend using Traffic Manager to ensure that all of your node connections are made accurately, to be sure that all of these work out mathematically. Before, there was a bunch of confusion. A bunch of cars were trying to change lanes all the way across, which is obviously bad. Don't let them do that. We just want them to cruise straight through, please and thank you. Same over here, just go straight on through. And what I'm doing, I didn't even say it, I'm hitting Control S. If you click on an intersection or a merge or a split and you hit Control S, it'll automatically connect the places, so you don't have to go through manually and click each one of these dots. But yeah, functionally, now everyone should be exactly where they're... Okay. They disregarded it, but I think they were already on a predetermined path. So now everyone can go where they're going. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, do some finishing touches, and I'll be back to show you the result. And there we have it. Pretty sharp, if I do say so myself. One thing I will say about the curves being 5x5, it leads to a little bit of slowdown on the ramps because cars can't take curves quite that fast. Actually, no, that looks okay. I mean, it's not that bad. I certainly wouldn't go any smaller than a 5x5 for a highway interchange. But 7x7 is optimal in my experience. So that inner curve, if you do that as a 7, this ends up being much larger, but will flow a little smoother. You can see the trucks here, especially the trucks with 2 segments, with the front and the back, they have to slow down a lot when they're making that corner. But I don't think this will ever back up. That's because this is actually a free-flowing interchange. There's 0 conflict anywhere in this thing. It is a system interchange, which means it's connecting a highway to a highway, and I'd like to continue this series a little bit by doing some more system interchanges. So I'm thinking like a stack interchange, like a 4-level stack, which is a 4-way interchange, or like a turbine interchange, which is all of the left-hand turns in the 4-way interchange make a left by going big up over the top. So it ends up being really cool looking. I'll have to figure out an efficient way to build that to show you. But this has been a Trumpet interchange. I have been Yumble. Thank you so much for listening to this. No doubt there'll be another video in a week or two. But in the meantime, I stream on Twitch 2 days a week. So you can find me at twitch.tv/YumbleTV. Let me know if you have any questions. We also have a Discord, which is great for reaching out directly. So yeah, feel free to subscribe here, follow on Twitch, join the Discord. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's a better way to do this. No doubt there's some pretty skilled players out there that are watching these as well. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I've been Yumble, and I will see you in the next stream or the next video.